Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Sewer Surfer 99. Thanks for the suggestion, Sewer Surfer. You asked, why do manhole covers use cast iron? It's a question you probably never thought about, until the moment you almost tripped over one while texting. These big, round slabs of metal are everywhere, silently covering our sewer and utility systems. But why specifically cast iron? Why not aluminum, steel, or a massive piece of Tupperware? Well, get ready as we lift the lid, metaphorically, on this question, right here on Explaining Everything. Before we get to why cast iron, let's talk about what we're actually dealing with here. A manhole cover is basically a door to an underground world. Sewers, electrical lines, fiber optics, you name it. It sits on top of a manhole, the whole part, and stops random pedestrians, curious raccoons, or overly adventurous toddlers from falling in. And here's the thing. They need to be strong enough to handle everything from foot traffic to a full-blown city bus driving over them. These things are in the street, right in harm's way, so the material can't just be strongish. It has to be a tank in disguise. That's where cast iron comes in. Cast iron isn't new. It's been around since ancient China, and medieval Europe used it for cannons, bridges, and, presumably, very intimidating cookware. So why is it perfect for manhole covers? First, cast iron is tough. We're talking about a material with insane compressive strength, which is exactly what you need for something that cars and trucks drive over every day. It doesn't bend or warp easily. If it did, we'd have potholes on steroids. Second, cast iron is heavy. And in the world of manhole covers, heavy is good. You don't want these things getting knocked out of place by passing traffic or some kid thinking it's a giant frisbee. The average manhole cover weighs anywhere from 90 to 250 pounds. That's the equivalent of a grown adult, a giant dog, or 2.5 large watermelons, all in one neat, round disc. And third, cast iron is cheap. Compared to other super strong metals, it's relatively inexpensive to produce in large quantities. Cities have tight budgets, and replacing hundreds of covers isn't exactly pocket change, so cost matters. You've probably noticed manhole covers are almost always round. This isn't just because circles are nice. It's because a round cover can't fall through its own hole, no matter how you turn it. Now combine that shape with cast iron's properties, and you get the perfect storm of durability. Cast iron can be poured into molds easily, which means making a perfect round shape with custom patterns or city logos is no big deal. The patterns aren't just for decoration either. They help with traction so people don't slip when it's raining. Plus, cast iron holds up under all weather conditions: sun, snow, rain, and the occasional mystery liquid on city streets. Other metals might corrode faster or require expensive coatings, but cast iron is naturally resistant enough for decades of service. A manhole cover isn't just a lid, it's a security barrier. If someone could just lift one with ease, that's a huge safety risk. Cast iron's weight alone acts as a deterrent. Sure, a determined person could lift it, but it's not something you're casually doing while on a jog. Also, because it's so strong, it won't shatter if something heavy drops on it. Imagine if manhole covers were made of a lighter, weaker metal. Accidents involving large vehicles or machinery could turn them into dangerous projectiles. With cast iron, the worst you get is a loud clang. And here's a fun fact. In some big cities, manhole covers are even locked or bolted down in high-security areas. The combination of cast iron's sheer weight plus locking mechanisms makes them nearly impossible to mess with. One of the best parts about cast iron manhole covers is how long they last. We're talking decades, sometimes even over a century. They don't just give up one day and crumble, they age like fine wine, except instead of getting tastier, they just keep being a circle on the ground. And when a cover finally does wear out, it can be melted down and turned into a brand new cover. Cast iron is infinitely recyclable without losing its strength, which makes it a win for both city budgets and the environment. That's right. Your manhole cover could be made from an older manhole cover from decades ago. It's the metal version of reincarnation. It's the perfect mix of strong, heavy, cheap, and long-lasting. It keeps people safe, withstands everything from traffic to weather, and can be recycled endlessly. It's like the Chuck Norris of metals, tough, dependable, and not to be messed with. The next time you walk over a manhole cover, remember, it's not just a random piece of street furniture. It's a centuries-old engineering solution that's quietly doing its job every single day. And now, thanks to cast iron, you won't accidentally fall into the city's underworld. Unless you really, really try. If this video helped explain your curiosity, maybe leave a like, subscribe, and maybe don't go diving treasures in the sewers. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.